So basically I have a day off and the sun is shining, there's blue sky. So I was going to go to Ballymena or Larne, or Ballymena and Larne, but because I missed the train, I'm instead going to walk along the Lagan, which I've literally just decided now. See how far I get, just to stretch the legs, get a good few miles in. But this is beautiful when you see this. I'll see where my legs take me today. I'd even thought about going to Cumber, but it's probably only because I like alliteration. So I like Cliftonville to Cumber. Sounds cool. Whereas Cliftonville to Lisburn doesn't have the same ring. Silly things that go through my head. From Belfast to Lisburn, I think it's about 11 miles. So, and I don't know if I'll even walk it. There's a bridge across here, but I don't think it's on the dark side. I'll stay on the light side. Stay where the sun is shining. So occasionally you're like really warm in the sun, and then the breeze comes along and you're like, hence why I've got my woolly hat on, my fingerless gloves. This is the remnants of the old Sirocco works, who I think actually are the originators of air conditioning. I think. Also in my school there were different houses, and the house that I was in, which had a wee red patch, was Sirocco. That was my house in school. Captains of industry. So this is the Albert Bridge. One of the cool things about this bridge is that the starlings do an amazing murmuration before going to roost underneath there. Something like 4,000 starlings. Don't even know where I get that number from. They make their way all across the city, where they risk their lives getting taken out by sparrowhawk and peregrine falcon. But it's an amazing spectacle to watch. Mays Field, named after Edward May, corrupt politician. Really like this wee bridge and this area in general. Kind of wish they'd do more with it, or there was more. Imagine hanging out here in the sunshine with a wee picnic. With the old docks, where the boats would have come in to supply maize, all the markets all around this area. And actually it was May's Market, named after Edward May, before St George's Market opened up, which is like a Victorian indoor market. Prior to that was May's Market, but there's a whole load of markets: sheep market, cattle market, corn market, all the markets. And this is one of the wee docks where people would have transported things up the river. And there's the trains in Lanyon Station, named after Charles Lanyon, Grand Master of the Freemasons. There's some sort of remnants of industry you'll see along here. It gives it some sort of interest. But I quite like that last wee bridge at Mays Field, Mays Meadow, and then this wee one by the gasworks. Met my love by the gaswork walls. Dirty old town, dirty old town. There's Balfour Avenue, named after Arthur Balfour, author of the Balfour Agreement between Balfour and Rothschild about giving Jews land in Palestine. I've always loved this, and I'm always amazed that it's still there, and it's been there for well over 10 years. This is an area known as the Lower Ormo, which was actually one of the first passes that was cut through the woods. At the time, Belfast was still heavily wooded. And then there were two passes cut. One was Donegal Pass, which is still called Donegal Pass, and the other is Lower Ormeau. And there were actually unemployment projects as far as I remember or know about it. And across the river here is Ormeau Park. Ormeau means the little elm or the young elm. And that is where the ruling family of Belfast moved to as industry started encroaching in the city or in the town centre. And it was getting too noisy and dirty for them, so they moved to Ormeau Park. It was the Marquess of Donegal. Originally that family connected to Chichesters. And Arthur Chichester was granted Belfast Castle as a war prize for trying to slaughter the Gaelic people in Ireland. Along with the title of Donegal, and was given land in Donegal. So you'll see Donegal Square, Donegal Place with two L's. When Arthur Chichester was given land in Donegal and the title, the Marquess of Donegal and Belfast Castle. But Belfast Castle then burnt down in the 1700s, and they ended up living essentially in a fancy house that eventually became a hotel just across from the City Hall in Donegal Place. But they moved in to Ormeau Park. And again, this is where the river walk starts to get a bit more pleasant. But Ormeau Park's lovely, actually. So this area is one of the first housing estates in Belfast. It's known as the Holy Lands, and the property developers came up with the idea while they were in the Holy Lands. There's Damascus Street, Palestine Street, Jerusalem Street. So this is all around the 1870s. This is where it becomes nice, a bit more natural, and I can keep an eye out for kingfishers and otters. So Stranmillis, I think, means the sweet water, sweet stream, and it's, as far as I'm aware, is where the river from the loch is no longer tidal. So the river up to that point is affected by the tide of Belfast Loch, but where Stranmillis is where it stops being tidal. In the car park here at Stranmillis at the boathouse, you can see the remnants of an old dock from one of the barges. Or lighters, is that what they were called? Pulled by horses. So we're at Loch 1, Molly Ward's Loch. Just got webbed. Ugh. And this is the new bridge they've just put in recently. Takes you up towards Forest Side, which would then lead to a lovely wee walk down through Galwally and into Beaver Forest. But I'm going to stick to the river today, I think. Amazing. It is now birdsong, and the sound of traffic has become far more distant. This is it. Beside the river, beside the reeds. Bathing in birdsong. So to my right is another lovely area known as Lagan Meadows. That's one of the entrances. It is really nice in there, and I've seen a fox in broad daylight in that area. And also in Lagan Meadows there's a little area called Leicester's Dam, which is a freshwater spring, and it's actually where the first fresh water was piped into Belfast. This is like in the 1700s. The same kind of people that started Clifton House, and they use wooden pipes, and they pipe that water from here at Stranmillis Leicester's Dam to Fountain Street in Belfast city centre, which is called Fountain Street. So that's where the first fresh water was accessible to the people of Belfast. The other side here is Beaver Forest, and over this direction where Galwally is, that's one of the ways to get into Beaver Forest. And Beaver Forest used to be the estate of the Hill family. You have a connection to Wellesley, Duke of Wellington. I think Duke of Wellington's mother was Anne Wellesley, and I actually think Duke of Wellington was actually born in Beaver House in Beaver Estate. I could be wrong, but there's a connection there. And then Beaver House was then taken over by the US military during the Second World War. I think it was the US military, and then it ended up being left in such a state of disrepair, and then abandoned, had to be torn down, like a lot of those big houses back in the day. Wow, I can see the river continues along here, and then this is where the canal sort of cut out the bend in the river. But that bit of river is now blocked, and the poplar trees of this area, they were all planted to make matchsticks out of, and end up not being cut down, but it looks like the last storm has just felled loads of them. It's blocking off that river section. Wow. But I love in the area there and amongst the poplars. There's the old canal. Right, I didn't think I was going to go through here, partly because it's often really, really muddy. But wow, I can see all these trees uprooted. Wow. Also, I love this part of the river where it oxbows around, and it's a good spot for seeing kingfishers. Hello, wee robin. Don't even spy you there. Hello. Come to say hi. Amazing celandine, out in full bloom now. It's great. Always love the lichens in these trees. Greens and oranges, silvers, greys. But it's decisions like this, me taking these detours, that then end up scuppering the other little brain fart like walking to Lisburn, which is less likely to happen now taking these. But I might just get back onto the main towpath. So that wee trail takes you to Moorlands Meadow, which is gorgeous, and there's sometimes cattle grazing in that area. Nice open area planted with oaks. Good place to see jay. But I'm going to take this wee trail. I guess it'll take me back onto the main towpath. I just saw the kingfisher, but no chance it'll come out in this camera. Basically where that fallen tree is, just above where it ends, is where the kingfisher went. Amazing. Right, back in the main towpath. And then up in there is the farthest end of Lagan Meadows. And actually the Lagan Towpath connects up loads of parks. So you got Ormeau Park, Botanic Gardens, Lagan Meadows, Beaver Forest. Further along we've got loads of others. So that's a remnant from the US military's time here. There's a little grebe. So in the river you'll get coot, moorhen, little grebe. And the rarest thing I've seen was actually seeing a grebe near the Odyssey. That was very unusual. Look at the blossom on that tree. Oh, it's beautiful. It's from Elfland. We're coming up to the Red Bridge and the Lockkeeper's Cottage, which is now a cafe and where the Lagan Valley Regional Park Partnership, no, the Lagan Valley Regional Park Group, whatever, are based as well. I did some volunteering for them many years ago. Always look for otters, but I've never ever seen otters in this river. Although I know people have seen otters in this river, just not me. Lockkeeper's Cottage is busy today. Sunshine bringing people out. Hello. Here's one of the lighters or barges that would have plied these waters when there's the actual cottage where the lockkeeper lived. It's been done up as a kind of heritage museum piece. So I'm walking on this side because I believe if you walk on the other side of the canal it's longer and you have to sort of bend round Clement Wilson Park. I hope I'm in the right one. Right, and it's 20 to 4, so if I walked for another 2 hours that'd be like 6 miles at least. That'll definitely take me to Lisburn, I imagine. So we're coming up the Shaw's Bridge. So there's a new bridge and the original bridge. And people fishing, I've never seen people fishing here. Usually see people kayaking, and even I've slid into the river in a kayak. Right. So on the other side of this bridge, so you can go up here and then over, and then the other side of that's another gorgeous park called Barnett's Domain. First wooden enemy. So this is the Minnowburn River. It's lovely. I was actually about to stop this mini adventure, and I think it's because the sun had kind of gone and it was colder and I was just crunching out miles, just walking fast, and I wasn't really present or enjoying it. Wee Robin, hello. And then sun came out, I was in this beautiful area, sat on a wee bench, sun shone on me, and I just decided that while the sun is shining I'm going to walk really slowly now and I just enjoy being here, and there's a wee rain. So yeah, I was about to bail, but I'm going to continue on for a while longer. It's beautiful. Oh, this is beautiful. So glad I continued. Also, this is one of the turn-offs you can take to Giant's Ring, which is from like 2500 BC, circular earthworks. And there's also a burial site just nearby Balnahady, where 1,000 years before that there was a woman known as the Balnahady woman who was buried there. So worth a visit. So that's where you would go from Shaw's Bridge, take the turn off to Minnoburn, and then Minnoburn to Giant's Ring, as it's known. And also there's a Victorian garden terrace, which is lovely, and it's kind of high up here, and it's got a lovely view. So if you're in this area, those are other parts to explore. I nearly actually did that about 15 minutes ago. I was about to detour, go that direction, but sticking to the original plan, following the river. This will take me to Edenderry, cross over a wee bridge onto the other side to get back onto the main towpath, follow that along to Drumbeg, at which point I could potentially go from Drumbeg into Lady Dixon Park and bail that way, because that would take me through to get a bus from Finnegy. However, if that sun keeps shining the way it's shining right now, I am going to continue walking and enjoying this. It's the alder tree, alder catkins, always by water, watery, marshy ground, rivers. The side actually of the river is a far nicer path than the main towpath on the other side. So slightly more undulating and textured. It's lovely. I just noticed an area on the left here, which is, I've never seen a sign up on it saying Edenderry Nature Reserve. So it's a wee area I'll have to explore. And I don't think I've seen a sign on that area before. It's probably ex-farmer's land has now been rewilded. There's a wee robin right beside me. That's nuts. Thank you. That was actually magical. It's like that wee robin was like just singing to me, like, and my phone was right there, and people were walking past and running past, but it just continued. That was lovely. So walking towpaths are not really my favourite. Parts of them are pretty samey, but when the sun is shining it doesn't really matter. Those wee flies. Something about the sun just shining in your face just transports you to anywhere. Ding ding. Yep. Cute older couple, I would say they're in their 80s. Out cycling along a towpath, amazing. Fair play. And then a nice wee smile and a hello from a man on another bike. He must have been going off to fish somewhere along the river, or it's just been fishing. That was lovely. The simple things. The simple things. That was the delightful Just that tiny little moment where somebody smiles and says hi that didn't need to, but did. And it just opens up this human to human collaboration. Thank you, thank you. And I wouldn't have experienced any of that if I'd turned back when I was thinking about it. There we go. This is exactly what I need. Like, to feel that burn in my legs, get enough miles in, and almost I feel like I'm walking out all those months of being on the sofa, letting my body reset itself. So I'm glad I'm doing these extra miles, not just for the mileage, but symbolically. An act of gratitude that I can, and my body is healing. Yes. Oh yeah, I love this wee bit. Forgot about this, the wall. I think I like texture, you see, so walking along a towpath, there's sections where there's not really any texture. But I think it's good, especially for what I want to do in the future, to embrace the textureless sections. Get used to it, make my peace with them. There we go, wee bit of texture. I think I just saw another kingfisher. It's a two kingfisher kind of day. Huh? Yes, literally it was just in front of me, dove down, caught a fish, and now it's just, oh, wonder if I'll be able to catch it. I still see it. I thought it was flying into a wee hole in the bank, but I think it was actually fishing. Right, okay, see if I can. Might have caught a wee glimpse of it there when I zoomed in. Like a wee X-wing fighter along the river. Two kingfisher day. Two very good sightings. That was even better than that last one earlier. That was great. And if I turned back, I wouldn't have seen any of this. Wouldn't have had the sun shining in my face right now, filling me with delight. I think the bliss is going to come. I feel it's just there. That burn in my legs. Sun on my face. The thankfulness, the gratitude welling up in me. The wee smiles from strangers. And then the bliss. Right, coming up, I can see there's Drum House there. And Drum Beg, little village, even village. There's a lovely old church in Drum Beg, which I love. It's one of my favourite old churches. Which means we're very near Lady Dixon Park. So that's a potential exit point for me if I want to end this now or continue on. Decision time. So that away for Lady Dixon Park. That away. and then this way to continue along the canal. So I decided it's only 5 o'clock, so I'll just keep walking. And there's something about getting to Lisburn and getting a train back to Belfast. It seems so much more rewarding. Trains always feel like a wee bit of a luxury or something. And like, bees a buzzing. Bees knees. Huh. There's 2 of them. Just stumbled upon this. Never seen this before, but it's almost like they've cleared it intentionally. Wonder if it's one of the old lockkeepers' houses. But yeah, it's just strange that they're almost doing this wee lock up. So they've redone the fence and everything, so don't know what the plans are. I have a theory that there's a plan to eventually allow boats to go all the way from Belfast Lock and the marina and basically navigate all the way to Loch Ness. That's my theory. This lock was cleared by Inland Waterways Association of Ireland. They are a volunteer organisation working along a Lagan navigation and are keen for others to get involved. There you go. So I could see Hildon. It's class, that's Hildon's just before Lisburn, so we're not far away. So I think there's the Ballyskay Viaduct, which is a lovely bridge viaduct. Hildon. Is it Hildon first, then Ballyskay, and then can't remember. But I'm nearly at Lisburn. I feel that way anyway. Only a few more miles. Like 2. A thrush. Well, I can feel actually hot spots in my feet, and if this was like, you know, say I was doing a multi-day hike somewhere and I felt this in my feet, I probably would have stopped and taped them up. But, you know, it's just a day hike. And I think also just from not being active and not doing these hikes, I just developed soft feet. So I'm probably feeling it. But I don't think I've actually used these. These are Altras I'm wearing, this particular pair of Altras I don't think I've actually worn. Like I wear them as an everyday shoe, but I don't think I've actually worn them for a long hike. And I wore my other Altras whenever I was doing the last long hike. So not all Altras fit the same. And yeah, I've had the ones I wore in the Wicklow Way, didn't get a single hotspot in 6 days. And they fitted differently than these fit, and they fit differently than the other ones I've got. Ballyskay Bridge. I love it. Not quite as good as the ones at Crawfordsburn Glen, but still a nice feature along the route. Oh, it's a lovely evening. It's getting a bit cooler now, but it's gorgeous. I'm going to get sunlight all the way to Lisburn. Coming up to Lambeg Bridge. Look left, look right. I love this building, the old Hilden Mill. It's all derelict, it's been on fire several times, and it's looking so ghostly and class in this evening light. And it is a ghost, a relic of a past where Europe and Ireland had industries. Stumbled upon this little scene. The wee cat's eyeing up the ducks. Good luck. Hey, yeah. Oh, spied. The clocked eyes. Okay, now I know I'm near Lisburn. This walk along a towpath always does this to me, where I think I'm nearly there, and then it's like a totally... My memories fool me. It's a lovely evening light. It's gorgeous, very calm. But yes, this is near Lisburn. And this will take me to the Island Arts Centre. And I just need to walk up through the town to the train station. Yep. And I will get a train home full of accomplishment. I can feel it burning my legs. I can feel it back there. I've definitely done, I reckon I might well have done as much as 15 miles. Because I think it's 11 from Belfast to Lisburn. But I walked from my house to Belfast. Who knows? I'll figure it out later. Made it! Island Arts Centre. No clue what the day was going to be. At all. Multiple semi-brain fart plans that evaporated. Like going to Ballymena. There was Lauren. I was going to walk to Cumber for the alliteration. And I was going to bail a few times along the route here. But so glad, stuck with it. through the arches of glory into the metropolis that is Lisburn. Look at that wee sunset and everything. Where would you get it? Perfect.